So a person, if he wants to be actually happy, he must become liberated. He must become liberated. Liberated means understanding your identity as a servant of God and acting on that fact, even in this world. You know, in Jesus' second commandment, he said something. He said, the second commandment is like the first being love the Supreme Father with all your heart, okay, your entire mind, your entire being. He says the second one is like unto it, and that is to love your neighbor. Be as concerned about him as you are for yourself. So he's not saying that we can't love others. He's not saying I can't love my wife, or I can't love my friend, or I can't love my neighbor, or I can't love my children, or I can't love my parents. But the foundation for my love for these children of God, these sparks of God, has to be my love for the Supreme Person. In other words, my love for God extends. I'm loving Him so much that I also love this person and this person. And in other words, the more you become a lover of God, then the more you come to love all living entities. Obviously, you're going to love those who are closest to you. But it's different. You're not loving them as your foundation. You're not loving them as your security. You're not taking shelter in them. You take shelter in God, and you love others. You love God, and He is your shelter. And you love others, but they're not your shelter. Okay? You don't take shelter in your neighbor. You don't take shelter in your wife or your husband. You don't take shelter in your dogs. You can love dogs, you can love cats, love ants, love all living entities. But you don't think that that ant or that dog is going to protect you. Don't make that the foundation of your life, always thinking about your relationship. Oh, when do I feed my dog? Oh, I got to take my dog for a walk, and centering your whole life around your dog. Don't make your love for the temporary names and forms of this world, don't make that the foundation for your life. It's very practical. Every single name and form, the billions upon, they're like so many millions and billions and trillions of bubbles that foam up in the ocean. You know, a wave comes and bangs, and all these billions of bubbles come foaming up. They stay for just a second, and then they pop, and they're gone. That's what all the names and forms of this world are like. So to become attached, to fall in love with one of these bubbles, and there's a bubble temporarily there, and you know what bubbles are. You know they're going to pop pretty soon, don't you? You see these bubbles floating across the sky, and you think, gee, that one lasted a long time. How long is it going to last? And finally it pops. You know the kind of you blow, there's a bubble, and you think, how long is it going to last? But you don't fall in love with it because you know it's going to pop sooner or later. Right? So if you become attached to the names and forms of this world, it's like becoming attached to these bubbles. Forget the names and forms. See through them to the people inside. Love God and love the living entities who are in these bubbles. That's spiritual life. It will save you from much suffering. It will give you actual happiness, actual freedom, actual liberation. Love God. Love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Take shelter in Him. Thank you very much.